All right, welcome back to rope flow video number 3. Today we have 2 movements, and again, they're going to build on the last video. So if you haven't seen those, go back and check out my first video with the 3 fundamental movements and the second video with the dragon roll. Today we have overhand sneak, underhand sneak. Okay, let's get into it. Overhand sneak. I'm facing north here. So overhand sneak is a race and chase, but we added dragon roll to it. So in my last video I said if you got really comfortable with the dragon roll, it was the basis to a lot of the next movements that we're going to build on. So really quick, if I face west here and I do a dragon roll, okay, you see how my rope is moving? That's what my overhand sneaks are going to look like. So here, see how the rope is moving? That's how my overhand sneaks are going to look. So overhand sneaks, just like you can do west and east, and under overhand sneaks, you can do your left and your right. Okay, so I'm going to start with my right. If you're looking at this, is probably your left. This is my right. So it looks something like this. Yeah. So rope starts in front of me. Now I'll explain the biggest mistakes people will make with this. This one, overhand sneaks, are probably the easiest. Underhand sneaks are a little harder. Okay. So we start with the rope in front of me. I'm going to drag the rope next to me. Remember, it's got to go from north to south. And here I flip. Okay? Remember, this flipping thing is just like everything else. The dragging is easy, but when you flip, it's got to be both hands. You're opening up your palms, dropping your hands. I turn all the way. Now it's on my right side, and I flip again. And it's got to go from north to south. Okay? And then I'll reset. Okay? So it goes drag, flip, drag, flip, and then reset. Okay, so this is how you break it down. You first practice the drag, keep practicing the drag, reset, drag, reset, drag, reset. Now you drag and flip, and here I just want you to reset. I don't care how you reset, but just do it. Okay, so drag and flip, then reset, drag and flip. Okay, once you get that, now you're turning. Flip over again on your left side, front to back. Okay, so drag, flip, here, reset, drag, flip, here. Now the rope is going to naturally take you into the next step, so that's why you don't need to really add this next drag. It's more of once you're here, can you reset back to the beginning? Okay, so drag, flip, flip, get back to the beginning. Okay, so this is where you can get a little creative here. If I'm doing an overhand sneak, that's a full overhand sneak where I reset. If I want to stay on the same side, I can do that by doing this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so instead of flipping to my left, I can flip right back to my right. This is a shorter overhand sneak where I just stick to my right side. Okay? Now, let's repeat all that on our left side. If you're looking at this, it's probably going to be right. So here, drag, flip, drag, reset. Okay? So drag, flip, flip, reset. Oh, that was an extra one. Let me dial it back a little bit. Drag, flip, flip, reset. Okay? And take the same exact steps to do this. Again, if I want to just stick to that side, I go boom, boom. Yeah, I'm just sticking to my left side here as I do overhand sneaks. Remember, keep the rope open, take your time, go slow, go smooth, until you really figure this one out. Okay? Once you get good at it, go slow, and you can add speed, and then I'm putting both of them together now. See, this is both together. I can go regular, just stick to my right side. I can go left regular, or just stick to my left side, and then I figure out how to put both together. The underhand sneak, I'm now facing south. Out of all the movements that I've taught you, this might be the hardest movement, just because, again, remember with the race and chase, when you get into this underhand movement, this underhand scoop here is really difficult for people to get to, because it's just a movement that you don't really put your shoulder or your body into. Okay, So again, if you've been practicing all the movements and you're really comfortable with it, this should come a little easier. Okay. Remember, I said doing the dragon roll is super important, and you saw that in the overhand movement. Understanding the dragon roll is important because it also helps kind of make this clean. Okay. So just like the overhand, you can do your right side and you can do your left side. I will start with my right side. If you're watching this, this is your left side, but this is my right. Okay. So this is the underhand sneak. This is how I start. Remember, you want to keep the rope open here, and I'm going to flip and land on the same side here. Okay. What I want you to practice here is this really smooth flip right here. So you see how my rope barely comes up and back down? That's what I want to see when you do this underhand or underhand sneak. Okay, you got to practice until you get this movement correct. Okay, and also pay attention to your palm. So it's here, I flip it over me, palm is up, and this is where that underhand movement is super important. We're not really going to think about that. I have a better cue for it, but practice this, flip, and make it really smooth. Remember, you need to go slow to get this movement now. There's no need to go fast. So you flip, get that movement. I just come back and I practice this here. Okay, the next movement here, I want you to imagine like you're flipping a pancake, flipping a burger, flipping a fried egg, whatever it is, but you're flipping. Okay, this flipping motion here is what's going to get the rope over my head. You see? I could get it over my head just by that. Okay, so look something like this. Step one, and I flip. Now I'm on to this side. The rope is free now, okay? I'm just going to reset, flip, and flip. There's 2 steps. Get it over, flip the pancake. Reset, get it over, flip the pancake, okay? Remember, it's this motion here. You're flipping the pancake all the way over, okay? And don't forget, the rope has to travel from north to south. So right here is from behind me, forward. So from back to front, that means when it's on this side, it also has to go back to front. Sometimes what people will do is they do this, and it comes across their body slashing. It can't slash. It's got to come back to front, okay? Okay, so now, once you've done that, you basically have done an overhand sneak, an underhand sneak, sorry. So I'm here, and then I just reset. So here, flip the pancake, and I reset. Here, flip the pancake, and then I reset. Nice. Okay, once you got that, same thing just like what I talked about in the overhand sneak. You can stay on the same side, or you can add the extra race and chase to get back over. So what do I mean by that? So here, that would be considered a full underhand sneak. See how I add that extra spin to get it over? Or I can go here. Boom, boom, oh, boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I guess the step there is not coming back over to this side. So it's the difference of going here to resetting here, or right when I get to this side, I go right into it. That is the difference between a full one and a half, just like you have in your overhand sneak, okay? Now, we're gonna repeat the same exact steps on the other side. So, now I'm on my left side. I flip. That was a bad one, okay? I flip, and I'm trying to get, again, this nice and soft little loop here is what I'm practicing for. Nice and open, my rope doesn't get crossed. It's just nice and easy. Once I get good with that, I go here, flip the pancake. I can even break it up. I go here and I can wait, and then I can just practice flipping the pancake. See how that comes across? Be careful with that. We don't want that, okay? So I go here, flip the pancake, back to front. We're in underhand. And as I start to get better here, I start to piece it together and I reset. Reset. Flip the pancake, reset. Over me, flip the pancake, reset. Or I can do what I was saying earlier and go straight into it and stay on that same side as I do my underhand sneak. Okay? All the same thing here. So once you practice that, then you piece it together, where you go from one side to the other, and you really start to get this underhand sneak movement. Boom, boom, boom. And you can really start to play with it, start to shift your weight. It's really good for the shoulders. It makes everything feel good. And that is your underhand sneak. Okay, we just went over the overhand sneak and the underhand sneak. Again, how are these incorporated into the actual rope flow? So again, we can go back to around the world as we always do. Remember, this is my north is overhand, my south is underhand, this is west, and this is east. So going back to around the world, we're going in overhand here. I have my race and chase. I have my dragon roll, underhand, race and chase. And if I turn around again here, this is my overhand sneak. I'm going from both sides here. Go to underhand sneak from both sides here. And again, I just have fun and I get comfortable with around the world here. Okay? So, cool thing about the overhand sneak and the underhand sneak is that these are movements now where we get to really work on overhand throws. Okay, so any overhand movement, this is now related to throwing in the sports movement, or throwing a punch, doing an underhand throw, anything related to that. Okay, so overhand. So this is my sneak. Okay, I've practiced around the world, and now I can practice moving forward here as I step. I can go backwards here with my overhand sneak. If I switch here, I can go underhand sneak. I can go forward. And remember, I'm just trying to get comfortable with it. I'm trying to learn. I can throw in a dragon roll, but I'm trying to learn how to come forward with it, how to get really comfortable with the movement, finding patterns that I really like. One of my favorite things to do here is when I do these sneaks is kind of just try one side here, split my feet, put my feet together, split my feet again, and just feel what it's like to have your feet separated, walking forward, walking backwards. And I get into this flow again. Remember, I pick a line maybe 10 yards apart, and I start to incorporate all the stuff that we've been working on, all the movements. This is the race and chase, dragon roll, race and chase, sneaks. Okay, so I do that for about 10-15 minutes after I've done the around the world. Now I practice in the movement, and this is the next level now. So this is where the throwing actually comes into play. So overhand sneak, I've now gotten comfortable with it. I understand the movement. I understand exactly how to do it. And now all I need to do is raise my hands now. It's more of a throwing motion. It's the dragon roll motion, and now I'm facing north. Okay. I can have my feet together here. I can stack my feet. Although here it's better to add this little matador move that we haven't learned yet. But I'm throwing with my left. I'm throwing with my right. And depending where you move your hand, I can change the throw. For example, with my left hand here, I can have it right up, hiding my left shoulder. Makes it more of a really over the top throw. I can have it here, almost like I guess that baseball throw would be underhand. But, or I can do my volleyball serve. When I get really good with my sneaks, I can turn here. This is my tennis serve. Boom, boom, boom. So all that's overhand. And underhand, I like to think about ultimate frisbee, bowling, anything you kind of think about that. And ultimate frisbee, I'm doing an underhand throw. Boom. I can go from one underhand sneak, or I can add a little race and chase to it. I can go to the other side here. Again, I like to think about it as I'm playing ultimate frisbee, I'm throwing. And again, switch it up. It's also really good for your shoulders because you go internal, external rotation. It's probably one of my favorites. I love underhand sneaks out of all these movements. This is something I do all the time when I have free time and I'm just flowing. This is probably one of my go-to movements. Again, boom, little underhand throw, boom. You can even mix it up, mix up your movements here. Remember, you're just trying to play around and find different patterns that you like, but starting to incorporate all these underhand movements. So we've talked about all the movements and what to help with. So race and chase teaches you how to move and shift your weight from side to side as you move forward and backwards. Dragon rolls or propellers are the fundamental movements for side to side or lateral movement. And the sneaks, whether it's underhand sneak or overhand sneak, are the fundamental movements for throwing. Throwing, swinging, anything like that, that's what the sneaks are for. So you've now learned all the fundamental movements for movement. Get really comfortable with them, learn how to do them. If you found this really helpful, please press like, share, follow me on social media, Instagram, The Maestro Movement, and come back for some more because we're going to start to get advanced stuff and just learn some cool tricks. I'll post videos here where you can kind of just learn some cool things to just keep evolving your rope flow. But don't forget, you've not learned everything. You can throw little underhand movements. I hope you really enjoyed this. Thank you for tuning in, share, and like. Thank you.